want to bring that up so you're not alarmed when you see that. Okay. So that's how you're going to toggle back and forth between the screen and so forth. Again, here are your settings. If physician comes in and says, hey, they're not tolerating 33 very well, let's move it to 33.5 or whatever it is. You just make your changes right there. Okay.
And then the pad power.
Yeah, so your pad power is going to show up. It refreshes every 5 minutes. Okay. So when you see the tank temperature getting cold and that pad power increasing, your patient is fighting the therapy. Right? So cold water temperature means they're fighting it.
That's
Pad
what I
power.
really want our staff to understand, that piece of it,
So the
because
cold
that
water goes
means
down,
I need to
the
do
pad
something.
power.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
need to do something about it.
That's your intervention.
So what will pad power normally like sit at?
So there's not a normative, there's no normative data per se,
Yeah.
but if you see it at 60, for example, I've seen that on a number of patients. If that starts to climb up, 62, 64, 68, and you see that tank temperature getting, 15, 10, 12 degrees.
Showing the tank temperature.
Yeah, go ahead, you find
So
it.
it's more of a trend rather than a set number.
right
It goes
there,
over.
and right
Exactly
there.
right.
Yeah.
It's a trend, that's exactly right.
So being aware of it, where was it and where are they going, right?
This is the
These-
tank.
Yeah,
And it's measured in watts, you said?
it is measured in watts, yeah.
This
Okay.
power.
That's right. So this tank temperature, when you're at target, when you're at like 33 or 33 degrees Celsius if that's your target, you're going to be somewhere between 28 and 33 degrees as a tank temperature. Anytime you're 10 degrees or colder, your patients, usually that'll be at induction, but if it continues to stay low, your patient's definitely fighting. So that's when you would want to start assessing your patient for sure, for shivering, infection, seizing.
So what's this?
This is just the return path. You don't need to worry about that.
Oh.
That's taking the temperature from this and the return temperature.
You can put two patients on it.
PT2 is for another temperature source.
So if you wanted to put two here instead of one up there,
Correct.
which we do.
I
so
see.
they have it,
Okay.
Yeah, in the chart, so to speak.
It's like how efficient.
Yeah, right.
Easy
Yeah.
flow.
If you need to take the patient on a field trip, you can just press pause. It's going to ask you if you really want to pause, and you can just say yes. When it's paused, your guy is going to be gray, okay? The time is going to flash, and it's going to say treatment paused. Patient comes back, you reattach everything back to the unit, and then you can leave it detached. They're not MRI compatible. I don't think.
But
We have
CT, we should go to CT.
They would never let us in there with
we
those
have
anyway.
there's a small spring in there. I don't want to be that YouTube channel that
Right.
where you see that happen.
There it is on the MRI.
Yeah. So just remove them because they come off and on. I won't say easy. Once you get used to it, it does become much more quick. Where you guys are coming from intravascular, I recognize that this is a different step that you're probably not as used to, and you're probably like, this is not great. But you'll get used to it if you just give it a chance. I can guarantee it. I've seen it happen. I've seen the data, the studies, and the real patients. So I know how it works. But if you give it a chance, it's going to be a really good tool for you guys. I can guarantee that. Pause.
And
that's
so
what
to
you do.
switch, let's say we had both thigh
Mhm.
and the torso on,
Mhm.
and to add the head,
Yeah.
pause.
So.
You have to stop treatment.
Yeah,
Stop
so if we
treatment.
wanted to add, so let's just say that, let's go with these just for the heck of it. So now I've connected the thigh pads, right, and it's not gonna show anything there. Let me do this, let me dial my patient. Target, 33.2, let me make my patient hot. Okay. All right, so you're like, oh man, I just connected the pads. Why isn't it showing up? Right? Because you can see it's blue when it's cooling, it's red when it's warming. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and hit pause. Yes. Okay. Do you want to stop the treatment? Yes. Do you want to power off the unit? No, I don't want to power off the unit. All right, so we'll hit no. Okay. You see this button down here? It used to be a play button. It's just a little circle now. I'll press that. It's gonna start basically that thing over here. It's gonna say if you want to start a new treatment, continue here. I've connected the thigh pads, so I want to make sure that those are active. And now I'm going to the next, and then I'm pressing play.
No.
It's not that bad.
But your time and everything should continue from the.
It will, yeah.
Okay.
What you'll get, and I didn't have the patient dialed up hot enough here, but what you'll get is you'll get an alert actually that says you want to continue the last patient, and you say yes.
Okay.
And then everything. The machine can be turned off and detached from your patient for up to 3 hours. When you hook it back up, you'll get, do you want to continue on the last patient? Continue treatment for the last patient.
Okay.
And depending on what you want to do, yes or no.
Okay.
It's more than 3 hours. You have to start over.
Yeah.
How do you stop? You just push the pause button. I can understand that.
Yeah, if you want to pause it, take them on a field trip, just
You
press the
say
pause
yes.
button and say yes. The reason we put that extra step in there is, and I'll be the first to say
Not
it,
get touched.
yeah, I don't love the placement of that, so that was my thing. I'm like, you need to put another something on there.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. Right? So that's why that's there, and then you'll press play when you come back. And you're just gonna disconnect and go. So you just leave the machine up here. And it can just stay on and stay paused in the corner until you get back.
Okay.
Right. It's easier for me to have you just pause it and leave it on than to turn it off and turn it back on. Even though it will continue with the last patient, it's just easier. Saves you 90 seconds because it takes about 90 seconds to do that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's the big takeaway.
Sorry.
No, that's good.
I only have limited time today. Any
perfect.
other questions?
Yeah, are you supposed to put something under the pads for the skin, like between the skin and the pads?
No, you definitely should not.
Okay.
Do we have anybody that's doing that? Or?
No, I don't know. I thought it was. No.
Just
Okay.
those blue cover things, right?
Yeah. I just didn't know for sure.
So rewarming, we used to rewarm at 1/4 degree an hour. Now you're going at 0.1 degree an hour. Is there a reason for that?
Who's doing that? Me?
That's our.
The new
Oh,
protocol.
that's your protocol. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, slower
Well,
is always
and then
better.
This always.
This
I
you
think
can
defaults
change.
to 0.1 degree an hour. The default's
It looks
0.1.
like it, yeah.
Our new power plant.
But we used to do a 1/4 degree an hour. I just wonder if there's a reason for that.
Is
Or,
it saying 0.1 on there?
So the protocol for that 33-36 study that we were talking about earlier, it's actually 0.5. That's the rewarm rate in that study.
Oh.
0.5. The rest of the world that's at 33 does 0.25. All of your neuro
That's what we
patients,
used to do.
yeah, all of your neuro patients typically will go as slow as 0.1 because the data suggests slow rewarming is a lot better than fast rewarming. There's
Okay.
nothing that says it's going to hurt a patient. Where the contrary is rewarming too fast.
I
is the
actually
problem.
asked 3 of them about that, and they didn't know it changed.
oh,
did that
three of the
your
doctors.
protocol change?
So
I think it
Let's
automatically.
talk offline because I
Okay.
don't have time today, but I need to get you back in here to talk to
Yeah,
the physician.
that would be good, and then I can do more data stuff.
Because we're having some pushback on shivering.
Okay, and if it's
That's
helpful,
making it hard for us to actually manage this well.
yeah, especially if they're not getting, like she's saying, if they're not getting the target, then there's something else happening.
They need to
And you can
understand that
convince
so
them-
they're helping us.
And you prefer 33 as a target.
It's just saying the
I'm
latest
just-
study is
You,
showing.
yeah, pick whatever you want. I'm saying a lot of people,
So why did you want to punch that guy in the neck? What was the
because
whole?
he just confused.
He's saying the
Oh,
first study
everybody.
that came out, because he's the one that kind of debunked for a while. You
He's,
shouldn't be cooling to 33.
Oh.
You should
but
be
most people took that as, oh, I don't have to do cooling at all
Yeah.
for these patients.
Uh,
And so what happened is a lot of patients ended up not getting cool. I just
Okay.
think it was super irresponsible.
'cause I
Um,
I think 33 is better, but I don't. That's my personal opinion. So I
most
was
of
just
the
wondering.
the key opinion leaders.
Well, I like 34.
Yeah, most of the key opinion leaders will do the same thing. They'll choose 33. And I will this out for a second, make a couple changes.
Hyperbaric, or cryogenic.